They told you to be yourself and be confident. But they never told you this. They never warned you that after narcissistic abuse, even looking in the mirror could feel painful. It's not just about appearance, it's about identity, self-worth, and all the damage left behind. Today, let's talk about the 9 sad truths about why narcissistic abuse victims avoid mirrors. Are you ready for number 1? Fear of seeing their false self. Dr. Ramani Durvasula, a psychologist and author of Should I Stay or Should I Go, explains, narcissistic abuse is insidious because it makes you question your reality, your value, and your very self. When you've been through narcissistic abuse, even something as ordinary as looking in the mirror can feel like stepping into a haunted house. You don't recognize the reflection, and worse, you don't trust it. That image staring back might remind you of all the times your abuser twisted your identity, told you who you were supposed to be, and punished you for being anything else. Over time, you start to see that false self they forced on you. The one who's never enough, too emotional, too needy, too much or too little, and always wrong. So when you avoid the mirror, you're not just dodging your reflection. You're avoiding the painful reminder of how much of your identity got hijacked. Deep down, you remember the old you, before the gaslighting, before the constant walking on eggshells. But now, it's like trying to find your way back through a maze that someone else built just to keep you lost. Mirror moments become more than skin deep. They're emotional landmines. It's tough, but here's the hopeful part. Every time you choose not to look away, even for a second, you're reclaiming a piece of yourself. You're saying, I see you, and you deserve to come back. Let's talk about number 2. Guilt and self-blame. Narcissists have this twisted gift for flipping the blame onto you, even when you are the one hurting. Over time, you start to carry their mistakes like they're your fault. As trauma-informed life coach Lisa A. Romano says, the shame we carry is often not ours to begin with. It's been transferred onto us by people who refuse to take ownership of their own darkness, and yet you carry it like it's tattooed on your skin. That's why the mirror feels like a confrontation. You see your own eyes, and suddenly all those memories flood back. Times you apologized when they hurt you. Times you begged for peace when you were the one being punished. It becomes too much. That reflection reminds you of the guilt, the self-blame, the exhausting mental gymnastics you had to do to keep the peace. In her book, The Emotionally Abused Woman, Beverly Engel writes, women who are emotionally abused often blame themselves because they've been brainwashed into believing they are the cause of the abuse. And if you've been there, you know exactly what that feels like. But here's the truth. The guilt isn't yours to hold, and the mirror doesn't have to be a weapon. One day, that reflection will feel like an ally again, not an accuser. Let's move on to number 3. Internalized criticism. When someone tears you down long enough, you eventually start to believe the insults. That's the trap of narcissistic abuse. It's not just about the things they said. It's about how those words became part of the way you think about yourself. So when you look in the mirror now, it's like you're staring at a list of criticisms. Your mind doesn't say, there I am. It says, not good enough, too much, not smart, not lovable. Dr. Carol McBride, author of Will I Ever Be Good Enough, explains it this way. Victims of narcissistic abuse often inherit a harsh inner critic that mirrors the narcissist's voice, making it hard to develop self-compassion. That's why the mirror becomes something to avoid. You don't want to see the you they convinced you to hate. You don't want to feel the sting of words that were never true to begin with. It's like their criticism got baked into your reflection. But here's something to hold on to. What they said was never the truth. As therapist and author Shannon L. Alder once wrote, "You will face your greatest opposition when you are closest to your biggest miracle. And maybe, just maybe, your miracle is rediscovering the real you. Quietly, waiting behind that mirror, patiently hoping you'll look again." Now, let's continue to number 4. Desire to escape reality. Dr. Thema Bryant, author of Homecoming, puts it, "Survivors of trauma often disconnect from themselves because the pain of remembering is too overwhelming." When you've lived through narcissistic abuse, sometimes the last thing you want is a reminder of reality. And the mirror doesn't just reflect your face, it brings back the weight of it all. The nights you cried yourself to sleep, the mornings you forced a smile, the parts of you that broke while pretending everything was fine. So instead of facing all that, you might find yourself avoiding your reflection altogether. But here's the thing, avoiding the mirror is not weakness, it's self-protection. You've been through enough, and sometimes survival means not reopening wounds that haven't fully healed. But deep down, a part of you still wants to come home to yourself. You want to look in the mirror and not see a victim, but a survivor, a fighter, a soul that didn't give up, even when the world tried to crush it. As Pia Mellody wrote in Facing Codependence, the road to recovery is about learning to see the truth and learning that the truth no longer has to hurt. One day, the mirror won't feel like a punishment. One day, it'll feel like a reunion. And that day is coming, slowly but surely. You shouldn't miss number 5. Avoidance of self-care. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and saw someone worth taking care of? After enduring narcissistic abuse, it's easy to stop showing up for yourself. The person who was supposed to care for you made you feel like you didn't matter. So, after a while, you started to believe it. Simple things like brushing your hair, washing your face, or even looking in the mirror feel pointless. Why bother when that reflection just reminds you of how long you've put yourself last? According to Dr. Christine Courtois, a trauma psychologist and author of Treating Complex Trauma, chronic emotional abuse can lead to deep self-neglect, as survivors internalize the message that they are undeserving of care or kindness. So when you pass a mirror, it's not just a reflection you're avoiding, it's the pain of realizing how little you've been able to love yourself. Here's the thing, you didn't always avoid self-care or mirrors. The abuse taught you that. Maybe the narcissist mocked you or made you feel selfish for wanting to look good. Over time, it wore you down. But that part of you that wants to feel good again is still there. Like Vex King says in his book Healing is the New High, self-care isn't selfish. It's a way of saying, I matter. And you do. Every small act of care is you taking your power back. Are you still up for number 6? Triggers of toxic expectations. Narcissists don't just expect you to be good. They expect you to be perfect, flawless, always saying the right thing, looking the right way, never slipping up. The narcissist moved the goalposts so often that no matter what you did, it was never enough. So now, when you look in the mirror, you're not seeing your true self. You're seeing a checklist of everything they made you feel you lacked. Psychologist Dr. Nina W. Brown, author of Children of the Self-Absorbed, notes that narcissistic abusers instill a toxic perfectionism in their victims, making them feel as if any mistake or flaw is a personal failure. And you've carried that pressure, quietly, painfully, into the way you see yourself every single day. Avoiding the mirror isn't vanity. It's not about being too sensitive either. It's self-defense. Looking at your reflection feels like facing a courtroom of silent judgment. The one they built in your head. Every freckle, wrinkle, or perceived flaw becomes evidence that you didn't live up to their impossible standards. But here's the thing. You were never supposed to. Those standards weren't about you. They were about control. You don't have to keep chasing approval from a mirror that's been distorted by their lies. One honest glance on your terms can start to rewrite that reflection and remind you that being real is already more than enough. Let's keep it moving to number 7. Body dysmorphia. When you've lived under the constant criticism of a narcissist, your view of yourself gets warped, especially when it comes to your body. Maybe they made snide comments about your weight, your skin, your smile. Things you never even noticed before. And after hearing it enough times, you started seeing those flaws too. Now when you look in the mirror, you don't see your body as it is. You see it through their voice, their insults, their standards. According to Dr. Catherine Phillips, author of The Broken Mirror, body dysmorphic disorder often stems from emotional trauma, and victims overfocus on perceived flaws because they've been conditioned to believe their worth is tied to perfection. So the mirror stops being a tool for self-care and starts becoming a weapon. It's not just about disliking your body, it's about believing it's the reason you were mistreated. But that's the lie narcissistic abuse teaches you, that your body is the problem, when really their abuse was. As therapist Shannon Thomas writes in Healing from Hidden Abuse, victims often inherit the abuser's distorted lens of reality, making it nearly impossible to see themselves with compassion. But here's a quiet truth. Your body has carried you through the storm, and it's worthy of your kindness, not your judgment. We're down to number 8. Anger at themselves. Trauma expert Dr. Judith Herman explains in her book, Trauma and Recovery, victims of prolonged abuse often blame themselves as a way to make sense of the chaos because it gives the illusion of control. If it was your fault, maybe you could have fixed it. But that's just another lie they trained you to believe. Even though none of it was your fault, you might find yourself getting angry, not just at them, but at you. You ask yourself, why did I stay so long? Or, why didn't I leave sooner? And then, that reflection in the mirror becomes more than just your face. It becomes a painful reminder of all the choices you think you should have made differently. But here's the truth. Narcissists are skilled manipulators. You avoid mirrors because you're silencing that inner critic that's been living rent-free in your head since the abuse. That voice that says you failed even when you survived something incredibly damaging. The next time you glance at your reflection, remember, that's not someone who failed. That's someone who fought like hell to make it through. You didn't fail. You were lied to. And you're still here, which means you're stronger than you think. Finally, we're down to number 9. The pain of remembering who they were. You used to have a spark, didn't you? A lightness in your laugh, confidence in your eyes, maybe even a little bounce in your step. But after surviving narcissistic abuse, that version of you feels like a stranger now. When you look in the mirror, it's not just your reflection you're avoiding. It's the ghost of who you used to be. That carefree version of you feels like it belonged to another lifetime, and seeing your reflection reminds you that something was taken from you, your joy, your freedom, your sense of self. You might find yourself thinking, how did I let this happen? Or, will I ever get that part of me back? And that hurts deeply. So instead of staring into that mirror and facing the loss, you avoid it altogether. You avoid you, not because you're weak, but because the pain of remembering is still too raw. And honestly, that makes sense. Healing doesn't mean pretending the old you never existed. It means honoring them, grieving them, and slowly, with time, rebuilding a new version of you. As Dr. Ramani Durvasula once said in a talk on narcissistic recovery, you don't lose yourself forever. You just need space to remember who you are underneath the survival. Avoiding mirrors doesn't mean you're vain or weak. It means you've been hurt in ways most people don't see. When someone breaks down your sense of self, even your own reflection can feel like a stranger. But the truth is, that reflection is still you. Strong, surviving, and slowly healing. You don't have to love what you see right away. Just start by seeing yourself with a little more kindness.